I'm Sarah.
I'm Laura.
And we are from The Smith Story. If you follow us on Instagram, or thesmithstory.co.uk if you follow our blog. We are wives, have been for a while now. Mums to Annabelle, who turns 2 in July, who I carried after IVF treatment in 2017. Thankfully a very straightforward conception. Is that the right word? Pregnancy and delivery. Yes. So we've been loving motherhood as it stands with our daughter and our furry daughter Bisbee, who you might recognise if you do follow us. But we wanted to do a short video on our next journey, because for anyone who has followed us for a while, you'll know that 2020 was going to be, hopefully will be, our chance to add a sibling to our family for Annabelle.
Yeah, and so in this week is Infertility Awareness Week, and we've unexpectedly found ourselves in an infertility journey.
With infertility being part of our journey.
That's it. So we wanted to take this opportunity of this week to
share our experience.
Thank you. To share our experience so far with and how infertility has affected our lives and our plans to add a sibling for Annabelle to our family. And just in case you didn't know, 1 in 8 women, have problems with infertility in the US. I think it's 1 in 7 in the UK. So it's actually really common, and almost all times, I would say, or definitely a lot of them, you have no idea that it's going to affect you until it does, and that is kind of what happened with us. So in March, just before all this COVID stuff kicked off, we went into Care Fertility, where we got treated for Annabelle, or what ended up in Annabelle. To have a check. I just wanted to have a general fertility health check, just to make sure that when in the summer we were ready to start, everything was okay. We were going to go straight to IVF, because we did IVF with Annabelle and just found it to be a really straightforward process, and yeah, we just wanted to go straight to that, and that was the plan for me to use my eggs and the same donor sperm that we had with Annabelle. Luckily we did do that check then, because as it turns out, I have an extremely low egg count and low AMH levels. So, and it was a real shock. I did not expect that. We were having the scan, and he found 2 follicles total. And I remember thinking like, oh, this doesn't seem like that many, but I really didn't think. I thought maybe they just grew no matter, like, maybe more as you get throughout your cycle, but as it turns out, that's not how it works. And yeah, he said the consultant said it would be very difficult for me to get pregnant using my own eggs. Yeah, all of a sudden in that hour's appointment, our plan was completely turned upside down. I felt really disappointed, I guess, in myself sounds really weird, because I know I couldn't have done anything about it, but yeah, I felt disappointed that in fact it wasn't going to be an option, or at least an easy, viable option for us to have children that are biologically mine. But then we decided to change course.
Well, I think sort of throughout the appointment we were very grateful to have, I guess, kind of staff, if you'd call them that, the clinic people that had been on our journey with Annabelle around us, who just were very quick to find solutions, I think, rather than kind of let us leave. They were very quick to be like, well, we've got other solutions, and I guess because we are in a fortunate position, if I should say that we are a same-sex couple, and that I'd had treatment previously, we therefore had frozen embryos. So the first thing they suggested was, would you use Sarah's embryos and Laura carry? And
yeah. So which is exactly what we have decided to do. It's a weird thing, because infertility is a new part of my identity, I guess. It's a new part of me that I didn't know about, but it's weird that it's a bigger deal, I think, or it would be a bigger deal if we were in a straight couple or a couple where the other person couldn't carry or didn't want to, because then we'd be looking at donor eggs or adoption. So it's a weird thing to think that that's what we would be looking at. But luckily for us, Sarah's got these perfectly frozen embryos in the freezer. So we are, that's now our plan, is that I'm going to try to carry Sarah's frozen embryos.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biological connection will always be a part of this journey that we weren't expecting, or the non-biological part of it. But we always said when picking our donor that the donor should be, if anything, a perfect mix of us, but possibly more of Laura's kind of genetic makeup.
Mostly because Sarah's got this beautiful olive skin that you see, and very strong genes. So we did end up choosing someone that was a bit fairer, didn't we? And I mean, and actually that's worked out for the best, because as it turns out, they're going to be a mix, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going to be the same mix. So so it's weird. It's
brought positives and negatives with it, because I think knowing that we had frozen embryos,
it's such a relief.
Yeah, and we'd always kind of said, well, what if after Laura had her try, if we also had frozen embryos from Laura, would we just try again afterwards and see if we could have a third?
Yeah.
And I just think, well, Laura put it so perfectly, just in an hour, every plan, every discussion, every scenario changed. And rather than us making the decisions, we were looking at the options. Mm-hmm. And I think, I'm sure anyone who suffers from infertility, has been there and kind of knows that it's actually a lack of choice that quite often makes your decision for you, rather than, possibly if fertility wasn't a challenge, you could pick any number of options.
Yeah. But yeah, and from a biological point of view, it's disappointing from one point of view, just because that was always the plan. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I know, especially now having Annabelle, that biology doesn't matter at all. She's just as much mine as she is Sarah's, and having another one of her running around would be no bad thing. So,
and actually, I would say Annabelle's probably more like you. I think the nurture-nature argument is a very, very good one.
That's
and
true.
I think that in terms of the cooking, in terms of the doing, which is very much Laura's part of our relationship, Annabelle will follow Laura around and emulate Laura and do all of those things. So to anyone who doesn't know us, doesn't know our story, it's, Annabelle is as equally ours as she would be if we were a straight couple. And, and I think any future child we bring into this world, if we're lucky enough, will experience that same bond with both of us.
And I had said to Sarah that I didn't know whether I'd be able to destroy those frozen embryos, so it's maybe a blessing in disguise. You could have ended up with like 10 kids if I'd had some too. So it'll be great to see what else is in there with the frozen ones. And I know we're so lucky. So so it's a weird place to be, and it's a weird direction to be in. It's taken me about a month to kind of come to terms with it. I think possibly, like, slight tangent, but my mom died in January, and I think a bit of me, I think that's one thing that's really bothered me, is that she doesn't know about this, and it's like kind of the first major thing that she's had been a part of. Sorry. But ultimately, I know that, she loves Annabelle.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would have been maybe as big a deal for me if I hadn't just lost Mom. If she was around, I think she'd tell me that it doesn't matter. So, I know it doesn't matter. Anyway, infertility. It's part of our journey now, but we're really excited anyway to still be able to have this opportunity and hopefully for me to carry
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that that'll just go nice and smoothly.
So yeah, we always plan to document this journey more, because I know with Annabelle, it was our first. We were nervous. There was a lot of emotions, a lot of uncertainty. You know, the whole lot of it.
Yeah, there's no emotions this time, as you can see.
And you know, we also wanted to make sure that our families were included, and I think sometimes that can be a bit difficult if you're sharing your journey with the world, because certainly my parents, you know, aren't on social media, so it's a case of, oh, well, how do they know about something before I know about something? But you know, we've been open with our families, we've been open with you know, the fact that we want to share this journey, and the fact that we've gained so much from other people sharing their journey, and you know, so we just want to be part of the voices out there that kind of say that every journey is different and this is ours. And
it's nice, it'll be nice as well just to document it so we can then look back on how the second one was created as well. So so that's our general plan, is for that. So thank you for watching and listening. And
any questions, you know, drop us a comment somewhere, wherever you're watching this video.
Send us a message.
And you know, equally, if you've had a similar experience, similar change of plans, and you know, you've got any advice, any advice
would be well received.
And for anyone struggling with infertility, you know, good luck on whatever your journey looks like.
And we're wishing you all the best, for sure.